My name is Renny Adejuwon, and I help parents to cross the T's and dot the I's in parenting, children, and education. And I am on a journey with parents or anyone that loves looking after children, particularly parents, in 2022 to look at the 12 years of child development. And I will be taking each year for each month. For this session, I will be focusing on 6 to 12 month old babies. For the newborn and 6 months, you can look at my previous video. I will be focused on eating, immunization, exploring, and relationship stroke attachment. So which tends to be what, babies or toddlers are doing between this stage of 6 months to 12 months. So the first one, which is all about eating, I talked about mostly for the first 6 months, children are mostly fed on milk. This can be breast milk or buttermilk. And, it's not advisable for weaning to start before the age of 6 months because of the intestine of babies are still developing. So they might have food allergies. Something soft is really good for them, but it depends on the developmental stage of your child or your baby. But medically and based on good research, it's been suggested that 6 months old is the best time to start weaning babies onto solid meals. So you can decide to start by giving them puree food from the age of 6 months. This can be homemade, saving those whatever cost to yourself by making fresh meal for your child or your baby, or if you want to buy in the shops as well. But bestly is to start with puree foods, blending those foods. You can start with simple taste of introduction, like maybe the carrots or the rice, or if it's maybe oats. It depends on your baby. It's very important. Simple taste is the best introduction, and as they grow older, into up to the age of 12 months, you can start introducing mixed taste for them, exploring those tastes with them. And from puree, you introduce a bit of lump into their meal, because remember, it's all about their, you might not see the development, the physical changes going on inside their body, but those changes happen, and as they grow up, introducing that solid helps with their intestine to develop as well, the internal part of their body, which will then reflect on the outside part of their body in their movement, which then leads on to them being exploratory, exploring their environment, exploring their own bodies, exploring the sound coming out from their mouth, exploring, movement, play. Play is all about exploring. Of course, depending on the developmental stage of the child, some of them might have started exploring before they turn 6 months, but between the ages of 6 to 12 months, that is when, and up, and beyond, over 12 months, they're exploring their environment, exploring in food, exploring with materials. And that's when you need to think about safety of your child, because of little accidents can become huge difference in a baby or toddler's life. Ensuring that you try as much as possible to ensure the environment of your child between the ages of 6 to 12 months is safe. I know maybe this might be your first child, or you already have other children, but it's never advisable to leave babies alone. Never do that. If you're going to step out of the room, make sure they're in a secure place, because of they're very quick at this age, 6 to 12 months, because of they're so inquisitive. They want to taste everything. There's so many videos on babies between these ages, because of their moving, they are crawling. So it's very important that while they're exploring, you ensure that their environment is safe. And while this exploration is going on, because they're moving, they're putting different type of things in their mouth, they see the tiniest particles that even we adults don't see. Immunization is still a key aspect of ensuring your child is safe. There's so many controversies about immunization and not to immunize, but good research has shown that immunizing your children protects them. We need to look back to history to see how children died so many times because of, there was no immunization in those days. If we look back into the 18th century, 17th century, babies died. But it is very important that you ensure your child's immunization is up to date because of they're growing, the environment is changing. So speak to your nurse. If it's the health visitor you're going to speak to your doctor. Immunization is very, very key. As someone that has worked within the health profession and a psychologist myself, I believe in good research, and good research has shown that immunizing our babies, our toddlers, is very, very important for their development. So moving on, at this age, 6 to 12 months, children are also developing relationship and attachment. Some children, of course, before 6 months, the main carer tends to be the person the child is attached to, and the main carer tends to be, the mother. For some people, because of the breast, they're feeding their babies, that attachment tend to form quite earlier on. But with children being able to explore their environment from the ages of 6 months, they are developing relationship and attachment, wider attachment as well. And Mary Ainsworth is the psychologist that really explored what attachment is, particularly from the birth up to toddlers and beyond childhood, in childhood years. But the 6 months to 12 month old, they're babies or toddlers can start developing those relationship with, maybe if they have a sibling or if they started going to nurseries. And those relationship helps to form themselves as well, helps with their exploratory environment, helps with developing, helps with adding to their intellect, helps with helping with how they're going to express themselves. So it's very important that while babies between the ages of 6 months are forming attachment, even though they might have already formed with their primary carers, they're also forming relationship with those within extended members of the family. And if they go to nursery, maybe they've already started going to playgroup, they're forming those relationship with other people outside the family as well. So at this age, between the ages of 6 to 12 months, eating is an introduction, introducing solid food, be it from puree to lumps, then to the actual food not being able to be pureed. Then they're looking at, exploring their environment between these ages as well. The independence of being able to move around or crawl around, or is it climb, depending on where they are in their development. You're also ensuring their immunization is up to date, because that's very key, which is all part of their safety as well. Remember, I talked about Maslow's hierarchy of needs in my previous video. If you haven't seen that, go and watch Not to 6 months, where I talked about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and safety is all part of that. And I believe the immunization, having your baby up to date with immunization, is very, very key. And with the exploring with the relationship and attachment as well, they're forming attachment with their primary carers, but also those outside of the family, if they go to playgroup or they go to nursery. So for me, at this age, the age of 6 to 12 months. These four aspects are some of the key developmental process that are quite visible in babies or toddlers between the ages of 6 to 12 months. I still have prizes to give away for this month. See the previous videos I have on. I have wonderful books to give away and also a bag to the most challenging question. Don't feel send those challenging question in, because we are all here to learn together and to help provide a great environment and a great developmental stage for our babies and children up to the age of 12 years old. And if you want to explore some of the topics I have talked about today, my book, Parenting at Us, 100 Parenting Tricks of the 21st Century, which is also part of the giveaway book in the prize, receiving the most challenging question. A chapter is all about relationships. So babies, toddlers, children, all about relationships. So that can also be helpful. And I found this book very, very good. I always add books to my library, and I found this in one of the high street shops. And you can still find wonderful books in the high street shop, and it wasn't quite an expensive one. And it just focuses on baby development, because I've looked at not to 12 months now. So there are wonderful illustrations inside, and you as a parent, a new parent, or maybe a more experienced parent, but you just want to add this to your library, this is also a good one to add as well. And for weaning, or the kind of food you can give your baby as they grow up, you can visit NHS Direct. They have quite good information about this process of weaning, or you can speak to your health visitor or your nurse, or maybe ask your doctor questions as well. But thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you again. I look forward to getting those challenging questions, because there are prizes to be won. To get more information about myself, do go to rennyadejuwon.com, and there's so many information and resources you can find there. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you next time.